On this edition of the Sports Desk, meet the school that has the future pro golfers as they make their rise to the CIF. On the gridiron, it's a knockdown drag-out fight between the North and South. Who wins? And on the volleyball court, the El Camino women's team surprises even themselves as they play Pasadena City College. And the struggling El Camino football team hosts Allen Hancock to a game you'll definitely want to check out. Sports Desk fans, get ready and fired up because it starts right now. Sports Desk fans, this is Bonnie Prickitt, and I'm coming to you from one of the city's hottest games in years. Old-fashioned rivalry, civil war if you want to call it that. It is the North Saxons hosting the South Spartans to a game that has major implications, not only for the Tops and Pioneer League. The winner of this game could possibly get a better CIF spot, but most importantly, it's all about pride. And with me to talk about the game throughout the entire show are Sports Desk reporters Phil Stafford and Ghazal Hassan. Welcome, fellas. Let's first talk a little bit about the North Saxons. You have been able to see them all season long. We obviously know that McDaniel and Mike Thompson are big threats for them. What else are you going to see from their offense?
Well, their offense really has to rely on that scoring attack. They've done it all season. In their first 5 wins of the season, they had 31 points average in each of those wins. But last game against El Segundo, they pulled out with only 14 points. So, Bonnie, I think it's really important for them that they prove to themselves that in a league game, they can pull out with only 14 points.
That's right. And league game means that the games that are left are only one more, so the winning of this game is major. And something else major that they have is their defense. They seem to pull it out when they need to. What do you think they're going to be able to do against South?
Well, their defense has been pretty good so far, and they've been able to rely on it. All 6 wins, they've averaged only giving up 11 points. But against this very potent South offense, it's going to be very, very tough. South averages 35 points per game. So, Bonnie, it's really going to come down to, can they hold on in the times that they're going to need to in this game?
That's right. And, you know, South's offense, they have quarterback Kevin McMahon, and they have Dylan Redondo, but they also have some other weapons. So let's go ahead and break down the South Spartans a little bit. They have a very meat and potatoes kind of play calling and basic football. What do you think?
Yeah, Bonnie, you know, you chat with Coach Josh Wainwright of South for a few minutes, and you get the idea he was one of those kids who didn't like surprise parties. He doesn't want to trick you. He just wants to beat you. And as you said, they play that Northeast style of pound and ground football, play solid defense, and run the ball right at you. Their defense is very experienced, and they're very aggressive. Eric Capacchione, Cale Dester, Kevin Williams, the linebackers, they're mobile, hostile, and agile. They show up in a bad mood, and of course, the feature back, Dylan Redondo, gets the job done behind that huge offensive line for South. Again, they're just going to try to run the ball at North and stop them on defense. The X factor, however, could be junior quarterback Kevin McMahon, who with more experience and confidence has had the reins loosened a little bit by Coach Wainwright. He may fill the air with footballs this evening.
And that definitely is going to lead to more problems for North, although I have to tell you, I play Switzerland in most of these games. It's very hard for me to pick a matchup, having to cover all of them for the last 2 years. But I really can't tell you if I think North or South is going to win. Do you have a favorite?
You know what? These teams are like a mirror image of each other. They both play solid defense. They've had 4 common opponents all year. They've both gone 4-0 in those matchups, so a very tough game to call. North maybe has a little bit of an advantage because they're at home, but South on that 5-game win streak, so it's going to be like an immovable object against the irresistible force.
That's right. And let's go ahead and wind down the football frenzy talk. Let's talk about something the NFL players like to do in their offseason. A favorite pastime of many people, golf. The Torrance Tartar girls golf team is fun to watch. What do you think?
Yeah, you know, a great group of ladies, Bonnie. I got a chance to spend some time with them this week. They were preparing at the time for some championship playoff action. They already had 4 players qualify for the individual championships in CIF, but they were moving forward to the sectional, regional, and then state championships. They're looking to claim their 3rd sectional title in as many years. So had a chance to chat with them a little bit. Let's see what happened. Mark Twain once called golf a good walk spoiled. G.K. Chesterton referred to it as an expensive way to play marbles. The Lady Tartars of Torrance, however, might refer to it as their means to stockpile trophies. The ladies in maroon captured their third successive CIF Southern Section title and now take aim at both regional and state titles later this month. They've won 5 of the last 6 sectional crowns, the only blemish being in 2007 when they finished second. Torrance was led by junior Samantha Martin, who stepped up and shot a 73 with birdies on the 11th and 14th while hitting every green and fairway on the back 9. Martin's score gave the Tartars a lift as sophomore Ann Chang, who usually leads the team, shot 81, good enough to lead her group, but 16 shots behind the overall leader and 1 stroke outside of the top 20. Senior Michelle Chun shot 78 for Torrance, which held off Cerritos by a single stroke. Overall, 5 shots separated the top 4 teams. Lucianne Lee and Chaewon Park rounded out the top 5 for the Tartars, both shooting 80 on the Chino Hills course. Junior Janelle Sua rounded out the scoring for the Tartars with an 82, following up her 79 at the team divisional finals. Overall, the ladies from Torrance placed 4 golfers in the top 20, with Chang and Sua being just 1 and 2 strokes off the leaderboard respectively. The Tartars battled nerves and a strong field in hoisting their 3rd trophy in as many seasons. Next up for the team will be the CIF State Southern Regionals, while 4 members of the team will also compete in the CIF Southern Section Individual Finals in Lompoc. Their success is no surprise to Tartars head coach Devin Kushi, who has a unique approach which seems to be working.
Well, some of the things that we try to do is we ask them to look at their statistics to make sure they're aware of where their strengths and what areas that they can improve upon. We also try to have a full staff. And what I mean by a full coaching staff is, I know I'm not a golf professional. And so we do have golf professionals on staff. We're one of the few teams in the area that do. And we even have a golf psychologist as part of our program.
Given their success, this unique team of ladies remains very well grounded.
Always, every time before we go out and play, always says one shot at a time, and that definitely helps for all of us. It just helps us take away everything that's from when we're playing.
I'm not gonna lie, we do get nervous. I especially get really nervous before, but I try to just stay calm and visualize the day before, and just do my best out there and not think too much, because the more I think, the stiffer I get, the worse I play. So I just let it go.
Playing what's largely an individual sport as a team might seem like a paradox to some, but the Lady Tartars seem to have figured it out nicely.
Knowing that our key players, top 2, were gone, we knew that we had to step it up. So, during the summer, we always see each other over the summer during practice. So, I think practice was the main part that helped us step up.
Last year, we just, we did good, but this year we're just trying to keep up the pace and just keep playing well and not really focus on the other teams are doing, just focus on our team and just preparing, for the postseason and just trying our best.
I think everybody's been working really hard, and just overall combined as a team, we just work out pretty well. So just hard work and just always wanting to improve, basically.
Reporting for the Sports Desk, Ghazal Hassan.
Thanks to Ghazal Hassan for that report. And congratulations to the Lady Tartar golf team as they win another Southern Section with a winning team total of 392. And you'll see that congratulations to Samantha Martin for shooting a score of 73, Michelle Chun, Lucianne Lee, Chaewon Park, and Ann Chang, and Janelle Sua round up the winning tradition of the Torrance Tartar Golf program as they head into regionals and state. Be sure and check out the Sports Desk for more of the outcome. Coming up after the break, you don't want to miss the hard-hitting and fast and furious pace of the Lady Warriors of El Camino. Plus, you'll recognize plenty of the faces.
Do you have diabetes? Join the movement to stop diabetes as a Red Strider at the American Diabetes Association's Step Out Walk to Fight Diabetes. Join hundreds of walkers who share your passion and showcase the courage it takes to live and thrive with diabetes. Gather your friends, family, and coworkers to walk with you and raise funds to help change the future of diabetes. Sign up today at diabetes.org/redstrider. Together, we can stop diabetes, one step at a time.
A stranger on the phone said I won a sweepstakes, but I was smarter.
Someone tried to open a credit card in my name, but I was smarter. A friend said I should sign my house over to him, but I was smarter.
The Los Angeles County Department of Consumer Affairs can help you avoid scams and protect your financial well-being. Don't become another victim of fraud. Call the Department of Consumer Affairs and we'll help you be
Smarter Seniors.
Welcome back. I'm still here at the South High versus North High game, and I ran into Sports Desk reporter Karen Bright. How are you, Karen?
I'm good, Bonnie. How are you?
It's great. It's Friday Night Football, man. Doesn't get any better than this. Who do you think is going to win, North or South?
I'm going to have to say South, hands down.
You're a little bit biased because you're the South beat reporter. She's been covering a lot of the South High volleyball games. You got a chance to spread your wings a little bit and go check out the El Camino Warrior volleyball team. What do you think about them?
Yeah, I got a chance to check out the Lady Warriors, and Bonnie, let me tell you, this team is young, but they're talented. They have so much power and strength on the court. When you see them live, I mean, you can tell they're a winning team.
And I think last season, they didn't get as far as they wanted to, but they have a really good coach in LaValle Patterson. I think they've surprised a lot of people. How are they doing in league, and what did you see in the game?
They're doing great in league. They're undefeated in the South Coast Conference, and the team's young, but they're a force to be reckoned with. Let's take a look. In a battle between the best of the South Coast Conference, the #1 El Camino Warriors hosted #2 Pasadena Lancers in a match that put the Warriors' undefeated conference record on the line. 9-0 in conference play, El Camino expected a tight match even though they swept the Lancers just weeks before. The Warriors took the court with purpose. Coach LaValle Patterson explains.
We've really been trying to quicken the game pace a little bit, work on a little better footwork for our blockers, a little better attacking options, and really coming out and playing well against Pasadena. They're a tough team, and we knew that they'd come here ready to play.
The Lancers came out fighting for every point, but they couldn't handle the Warrior offensive led by twin West Torrance alumni Caitlin and Lauren Edwards. They put up twin stats with 12 kills apiece. Late in game 1, Lauren Edwards' serve returned by Lancer opposite hitter Miranda Dewing. Caitlin Edwards with the dig to setter Sarah McFadden, and Ashley Gideon open hand tips it, but Pasadena isn't fooled. Back over to Kaylani Tanavasa, McFadden sets it up, and Lauren Edwards with a kill to finish what she started. With the Warrior squad looking like a well-oiled machine, outside hitter Caitlin Edwards says the key was pregame preparation.
All worked on a bunch of things in practice. We had to write down team goals for this match. All were to play as hard as we could, leave it all on the court.
That's exactly what she did. With a cut shot, Warriors win game 1, 25-17. That didn't faze Pasadena, who last year swept El Camino for the conference title, ending the Warrior 8-year reign of the South Coast Conference. The Lancers kept game 2 close, leading the Warriors 4 times and tying up the points on 9 occasions. But Pasadena couldn't find their stride, and Coach Patterson's squad took advantage.
We just kind of have like the plan, you know, like bump, set, kill, like that's what we do, and that's just, we just kind of try and like follow the plan and execute, and you know, if they give us something to capitalize on, we do it.
With the plan in place, El Camino bump, set, kills their way through game 2 and win it 25-18. Game 3, Pasadena down 2-0 with the match at stake, can't penetrate the Warrior wall or stop the attack. The Warriors focused on working together and keeping their composure. That was the right approach. El Camino wins game 3, 25-20 to sweep the match. Middle blocker Katie Cole says, "We can expect a lot more from the Lady Warriors."
This is just the beginning, so we've got 4 more conference matches, and then we've got a long road ahead of us, so we're all really excited.
The El Camino Warriors improved to 19-2 overall and stay on top of the South Coast Conference with an undefeated record. I got a chance to talk to the coach, and she says moving forward, the team's strategy is to take each match 1 game at a time until they reach the championships. Reporting for the Sports Desk, I'm Karen Bright.
Thanks, Karen, for that report. El Camino sweeps the match 3-0 against a good Pasadena City College team. And the Edwards sisters, Caitlin and Lauren, were a big part of that win. Sarah McFadden had 42 assists. Former Saxon Ashley Gideon had 9 kills and 9 digs, and Katie had 9 kills and 3 blocks. The Lady Warriors have 3 conference games left before their postseason begins. Their hardest opponent is Mount Sac, who they play next. Their last matchup, it went to 4 games. Good luck to the Lady Warriors. And that's just how good the El Camino Warrior Lady Volleyball team is looking. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the Prep Pioneer League standings, the Delray League standings, and the Warrior standings. No surprise that the South Spartans ended up on top with a 7-1 record. El Segundo comes in second. North Torrance and Torrance and Centennial round out the bottom 3. The postseason begins this week, and we'll have the highlights of the first round game of the South Spartans. Let's go ahead and now move over to the Delray League final standings. We see LaSalle on top with Bishop Montgomery in a close second, just at 5-3. And St. Joseph, Bishop Amat, and Mary Star of the Sea are the last 3. And Bishop Montgomery will play in their first round. There's a chance that Bishop Montgomery and South could play if they win the first and second rounds. Let's go ahead and take a jump into the Bay League final standings. Redondo Union, powerhouse on top. Mira Costa is in second. Both of these teams, really, their biggest opponent is against one another in the postseason. Peninsula is at about 500. Palos Verdes at 2-6. And COT's beloved Lady Warriors came in last in the Bay League, but they have a young and talented team, and they're coached well by Jen Haney, so they'll have better luck next season. And that's all we have for you for volleyball. It is obviously halftime at the North Saxon South Spartan game. Let's go ahead and check out with the guys up in the box. Phil Stafford and Ghazal Hassan break down the first half for you.
Halftime here at North High School. Spartans 17-0 over the homestanding Saxons. My name is Ghazal Hassan. I'm here with Phil Stafford. Interesting first half, Phil.
It was. The first quarter basically spelled out exactly what we were expecting in this game. South marches down 75 yards. North defense finally steps up and able to hold them to a field goal. But then when North gets the ball back, they go 3 and out. Exactly what we expected. That South defense prevails, and North is still scoreless here at half.
Yeah, and like we talked about in the pregame, Kevin McMahon, the junior quarterback for South, airing the ball out. 2 big completions on that first drive that led to the field goal. As we spoke about in the pregame, Kevin McMahon airing the ball out, the junior quarterback for South. Let's look at some first half highlights.
Spartans come out throwing the ball. Play fake so good, even faked our cameraman out. But trust me, McMahon completes it down the field to Cale Dester. First down for South. Here's McMahon again, rolling light, looking down the field. Cale Dester yet again. He'll be down at the 10-yard line. That'll set up this field goal. Nick Campbell from 32 yards away. Bada bing. And just like that, 3-0 for the Spartans of South. McMahon at it again. This time rolling left, looking down the field. He'll find Keith Masushi inside the 5-yard line. And that'll set up the next play. Full house backfield for South. The captain, Eric Capacchione, pounds it in from 3 yards out. 10-0 Spartans. We go to the second quarter, 4th down play. Todd Croce going to pull the trick play out, a little throwback screen to Benjamin Brown, 23 yards into the end zone for a touchdown. But there's some laundry on the field, flag on the play, it wipes it out. Spartans stop the Saxons 2 plays later. McMahon behind center calling signals. He'll drop back. He's looking for his tight end, Keith Masushi. Complete the 45, but then he wrestles out of a couple of tackles, and he's down the sideline, 56 yards to pay dirt. Halftime score, Spartans 17, Saxons nothing.
About to start the second half here at North High School, the Spartans of South against the Saxons of North. Phil, what do the Saxons have to do to get back into this one in the second half?
I think they got to find their offensive identity. They ran the ball very effectively at some points, and then they decided to pass and had some good options with that. But offensively, they just haven't been able to find what's working for them the most. They haven't gotten any points on the board. That obviously has to change, and I think that they are going to have to find whether they're going to run or pass. But right now, let's send it back to Bonnie with more on what's coming up later in the show.
The action is still heating up here at the North and South football game. We'll be bringing you the second half highlights and the end of the game wrap-up. But first, let's talk a little bit of El Camino Warrior football. They started their season strong, winning 4 games in a row. They unfortunately had to forfeit those games due to an ineligible player. And their conference play, well, it hasn't been strong. They've got no wins. We start about 7 minutes into the first quarter. Quarterback Omar Herrera on the play action. He will find Kevin Norrell. 35-yard pass. Norrell will go out and about. Touchdown, no, the 1-yard line. Setting up this next play. It's freshman running back Melvin Richardson on this play. Powers his way into the end zone. Extra point was good. El Camino's up by 7. We jump to late in the second half. 11 plays into this drive. They're on Allen Hancock's 12-yard line. Omar Herrera, short missile to Joshua Brinson for the touchdown. El Camino is up 21-0. El Camino's defense is doing a good job stopping Hancock's running game, but on this play, quarterback Seth Tripod hooks up with Brad Peterson, who shakes the Warriors off, and he gets to the end zone for a well-deserved touchdown. Their extra point's good. They're still down 21-7. It's now the third quarter. Allen Hancock has a plan, and that's the score on this drive. They're on their own 39. Seth Tripod looks up, but he finds El Camino's defensive back, Royce Lewis. His plan is to take it all the way back to the house for a touchdown. Extra points good, 29-7 El Camino. As we reach the fourth quarter, Hancock has bridged the gap between itself and El Camino with Chris Barnwell's 2 rushing touchdowns. Check out Jordan Tavai. Goes, knocks it out of Seth Tripod's hand. Lionel Boyce recovers it for El Camino. That play is so pretty and the defense deserves so much credit. Let's watch it again. That's right, Seth Tripod setting up. He goes, Jordan Tavai comes around from the back, knocks it out of his hand. Lionel Boyce jumps on it. El Camino retains possession for the rest of the game by running out the clock, but their defense definitely deserves credit for this big win. And if they can get to the postseason, they'll definitely need more plays like this. El Camino wins over Allen Hancock 29-21. Saw the great plays by Peter Walton. He had 20 carries with 95 yards. Josh Brinson surely going somewhere after this season. Division I maybe? 5 receptions for 48 yards and that pretty touchdown. Quarterback Omar Herrera fared better this week than he did in previous weeks with 12 completions on 22 attempts and a total of 134 yards. El Camino's postseason chances are looking pretty dim as they are waiting for a decision on their second appeal due to that ineligible player. Oh man, Friday Night Football doesn't get any better than this. This South and North game is heating up. Let's go ahead and see how Phil and Gazal break it down.
That's right, Bonnie, and the crowd is back into it too. Here at the North Stands, they were saying in the first half, oh man, this is going to be a long night. That certainly changed.
You know, a couple of big plays that shifted the momentum of this game. The Spartans back on their heels a little bit, North marching on.
Yeah, and they turned to a couple of their key seniors, starting with Jonathan Garcia in the third quarter. The Saxons started at their own 20, and Jonathan Garcia here, he'll scamper for the first down, doing his best to get that North momentum going. Later in the drive, he rolls out to his left, 3rd and 8 once again. He finds Ben Brown on the outside, and he'll pick up the first down to keep the drive alive. Later on, it's 3rd and 25 outside the red zone. Garcia dropping back, looking towards the end zone. He's got Cameron Emanuel, who pulls it down for the score. The Saxons finally on the board. To the fourth quarter, Kevin McMahon rolling out, looking at the sideline. He's got Daniel Smith with the interception. The Saxons know they have to convert. They'll give it off to Ryan McDaniel. Look at this thoroughbred running back go, just like he's in the Churchill Downs. He's gone for 65 yards in the score. The Saxons within 3. Later on in the quarter, they'll go for it on 4th and 5, and an incomplete pass will turn it over on downs. The Spartans capitalize. Eric Capacchione with the punch and the 1-yard touchdown run. 24-14 is your final. So that's how the game comes to a close, and South now sits atop of the Pioneer League heading into the last week of the season. Obviously a huge win for them, but a detrimental loss for the Saxons.
It is, and a few weeks ago you and I broke down the playoff projections, and we had South at the top. That doesn't mean North can't do well in the playoffs. The tension was palpable here in the field, and in the stands. We'll talk to Ghazal Hassan, who's meeting with Coach Waybright as we speak, and we'll see his feelings. What about Croce's feelings?
Croce obviously was very upset about this loss. North had the chance to get back in it, but they just didn't seize that opportunity. When I got to talk to Coach after the game, I asked him one question: how do you sum this loss up?
They came out, they played really well. They played 4 quarters and we played 2, so do the math and they win, so pretty simple. Like all year, we got to rebound and try to keep getting better, and that's it. From week to week, we got to try to improve, and you know, one of our goals was gone there, winning the league title, but you know, we still get a playoff shot and keep going, so.
So obviously, Coach Croce isn't very happy with his North Saxon squad, but that doesn't mean that they don't have a good chance in the postseason. Ghazal, you got a chance to talk to Coach Waybright and some of the players. What's your thought on the game, and what do they have to say?
Bit of a Cobra Kai first half for the Spartans. They struck hard, they struck first, showed no mercy. The Saxons stepped up in the second half and came at them. I talked about that with Coach Waybright and a couple of his players.
Big game. You know, we knew, you know, we've been going against Coach Croce and Coach Misser now for, 8 years. You know, they know what to expect from us. We know what to expect from them. You know, so you got to do some things differently. They're great coaches. I tip my hat to North, and that's what we want to do tonight with Kevin. I thought he threw the ball great early.
But during the week, Waybright told me to expect to come out passing a lot. So came out, fired up, did what we did. So, I mean, it's a good drive. It's a good way to start off the game.
I feel like we lost a little momentum going into the second half. But as the game went on, we stepped up and just what we've been doing all year, just believed in our defense and got through the game with our defense, and that got us through.
It's a big win for South there, Phil. They won 24-14. You see the great stats of Ryan McDaniel and Ben Brown from North. Just couldn't help them out enough as Dylan Redondo ran for 77 yards. And, of course, Brent Malone and Keith Masucci had big games for the Spartans. And Bishop Montgomery, they are tearing up the Del Rey League. They won another one, 56-6 over LaSalle. They're now 5-0 in league, 7-2 overall. Running back Nolan Plummer is huge for the night. 13 carries, 329 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Unbelievable. Mark Nguyen didn't pass very much, but when he did a good job. 2 of his passes were for touchdowns. And defensive back and also wide receiver Kevin Paredes, huge game, 2 interceptions, and one of those was returned for a touchdown. Congratulations to the Knights as they will most likely win their last league game against St. Bernard, and they head deep into the playoffs. Let's go ahead and take a look at another Pioneer League matchup. Well, not very surprising, the Torrance capped one over Lawndale 56-40. Pretty huge game for Tyrone Taylor. This kid's got talent. Carried the ball 14 times, 180 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Dylan Abel is always able to get down that field, and he also scored 3 touchdowns for Torrance. Torrance meets up with North for the next game. The Sports Desk will have the highlights for you, and Lawndale plays Centennial for their last game of the year. And finally, let's round it out to the homecoming game of the West Warriors. They won over Peninsula. Fantastic game. 15-14 was the final score. Ricky Sato of West had 31 carries, 148 yards. Can't forget the place kicker, Cody Thornton. Congratulations on winning the game with that 34-yard field goal. West plays for another chance at a W for the season against the Lusinger Olympians. Now is the time for you to let us know things we don't know. Give us a call. Look at the number on your screen, 310-618-5762. You can email us at thesportsdesk@TorranceCA.Gov. You can watch all of our shows online from years past at TorranceCA.Gov. And of course, all of our 2010 shows are on YouTube. I would like to thank Phil Stafford, Ghazal Hassan, and Karen Bright for adding to this broadcast. It was a lot of fun. And so until next time, Torrance, have a good time.